the entire time that we were trying to get Jeffrey treatment, he was over 18, so HIPAA was really an issue the whole time. And early on, when we were trying to get him admitted into a hospital, he was resistant, and he knew that he could decide not to go into the hospital. And he kind of used that at first. But then over time, we kept talking to him. We've always been able to talk to Jeff. We kept talking to him and expressing our point of view, and he still had anger in him, but it kind of subsided. I remember the night or the day that we admitted him to Emerson. We told him we're going to go to Emerson Hospital, and we told him, do whatever you need to do, and when you get all your stuff done, we'll go in. So he took his time. He had a friend over, a girlfriend over, and they kind of spent some time together, and the day went on, and it was actually late afternoon, early evening by the time we found ourselves driving into Emerson Hospital. And then in the process of him getting admitted, we found ourselves in a waiting room all by ourselves, just Jeffrey and me. And it was late at night. It was like 11 o'clock or something. And they're waiting for a bed to open up. And Jeffrey and I were there, and earlier in the day, he had this kind of tough guy exterior, and he was letting me know that he was his own man, and I couldn't push him around and all that. But by this time in this waiting room, he was my little boy again, and we were just trying to kill time. He knew he was in for a kind of unpleasant couple of days, being alone in the hospital, and we were playing word games or something, and he was my little boy again. So I kind of kept on to that, and after that, in the months and years after that, whenever we were getting treatment, I always reminded myself that he's still my little boy, and I'm still his father, and I'm still in charge of trying to get him well. And so I always tried to have my time with the doctors to be able to give my point of view. But it's kind of a tightrope that I tried to walk, because I knew it was treatment for him, and he needed to be there, and he needed to get the treatment. So I couldn't take over that. But what I tried to make it a point to do was to, from time to time, when I felt it was needed or helpful, that I would talk to the doctor and give my point of view. This is what I see Jeffrey doing. And Deb too. We were really kind of a team doing this. And we would make it a point from time to time to go in and talk to the doctor and give our point of view. And we think that was just important, so that the doctor would not just get Jeffrey's word, because Jeffrey was struggling. He was struggling with his depression, his anxiety, and he was struggling with his drug use. So we think that he would frequently try to tell a story that the doctor would buy, or the doctor would accept, and maybe wasn't always 100% the truth. So we felt it was really important that the doctor get another perspective, and we were eager to do that. In hindsight, I'm not sure if the doctor was encouraging that as much as she could have. I think had we had more input, it would have helped her. But that's water under the bridge. I guess the point is, the advice is to parents, don't be afraid to care for your child. They're your child. They'll always be a child, and be aggressive in providing your input to the doctor.
So parents are an important part of the treatment plan. So they are the eyes and ears for the clinician or the psychiatrist. So if your child walks in and talks about whether he's doing okay or not feeling good or doing fine at this present time, what the psychiatrist is looking for is that how was he doing before walking in the door? So the last few weeks or last months, were they concerned about any of the symptoms, or were they worried about their functioning? So without the parents fully participating with the clinician, it becomes a very hard job to undertake.
A good therapist is going to work with parents as well. And while it's important to have a confidential relationship, part of what I work on as a therapist with a young person in therapy is how are we communicating with your parents, and what is your communication with them, because it's a part of their lives. And so if as a parent you are seeing something at home that is very concerning, and therapy may be well underway, you need to communicate that concern to the therapist. Now, your son or daughter might be upset. I can't believe you told my therapist that, but it becomes a part of the conversation. It's not. It's not. It's not that you're going to know everything that the therapist is talking about in the confidential relationship with your son or daughter, but your concerns are a part of what should be discussed in that therapy. And so, what happens in that conversation is, in part, you're trusting the adult, the therapist, this new adult you're introducing to your son or daughter's life, to handle that information responsibly. But a once a week therapy is limited if we don't have a broad picture of what's really happening.
So as a parent, if you feel that your child is not doing well and things are not going in the right direction, it is absolutely okay for you to call your doctor or your psychiatrist and let that be known. Because me, as a psychiatrist, I'm completely relying on you to give me that information, that things are not going well and we need to intervene at this time and moment.
Sometimes parents will call about their child and they are concerned, they're worried, they want to know how it's going. They sometimes want to discuss the kinds of things we might be discussing in session. Or they might want to tell me something that's happened at home that they're upset about. And so I find in my conversations with parents about their child, mostly I'm trying to help that parent cope with life at home with depression or anxiety or whatever the issue is. I try to encourage and support that parent in their role as parent and honor the confidentiality I have with the student.
So to address the medical privacy laws, so as treaters, what we do is we try to impress upon both the children and the parents that even if they turn 18 and they can make their own medical decisions and legally they are adults, it does not hurt to have advocates next to them participating in the treatment plan. So if the parents who are in a position to observe them daily and are concerned about certain things and would like to bring it up, having a release from an adult child helps us communicate with the parents and take that information and actually use it for treatment.
Working with students who are over 18, mostly college students, their parents aren't as involved in their treatment or their work, their therapeutic work. And so confidentiality is very important. Students are on their own developmentally. They're making decisions and choices that are more independent than when they lived at home and parents were more involved. At the same time, if they're suffering with depression or anxiety, they need their parents' support, perhaps. And so what I try to do in my work is encourage them to bring the parents in on this. Gee, this seems like something your mom and dad might be able to help you with. This seems like something your mom and dad would really want to know. Is there a way we could get their help? And so, in my experience has been that helps. That helps. It just helps strengthen the process.
So even if your adult child has not signed a release of information for you to be able to talk to their doctors, it absolutely does not stop you from picking up the phone and calling the doctor and let them know your concerns. The medical privacy laws are for the doctors to not divulge the information to you, but it does not stop them from hearing what you're saying and actually including that in the conversation when they're sitting down with your son the next time.